All right, welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever felt like you're just completely drowning in a sea of inconsistent spreadsheets, or if you're constantly second-guessing the numbers on your company's executive dashboards, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a structured, highly visual journey to transform data chaos into absolute clarity. Sounds like a tall order, right? Let's prove it's actually entirely possible. Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the data chaos problem, then clearly define governance. We'll compare it directly against management, break down the 4 core pillars, review the key deliverables, and finally finish with the ultimate payoff, which is a sustained data culture.
Let's jump into Section 1, the data chaos problem, the case of multiple John Smiths.
Take a look at these names. We've got John Smith, Jay Smith, and John S. Now, to any human being with a pulse, it's completely obvious this is the exact same customer. But to your CRM system, no way. These are 3 entirely different, disconnected records, each holding different little pieces of contact info. Without strict rules in place, your systems are practically flying blind, basically assuming you just acquired 3 distinct people. And here's how that one tiny data entry issue cascades across your entire organization like a domino effect. Marketing blasts out 3 identical emails to the exact same guy, which, let's be honest, instantly makes the company look a little desperate and really drives down customer satisfaction. Meanwhile, sales thinks they have 3 separate hot prospects, so your pipeline is totally artificially inflated. And when John actually calls in for help, customer service can only see a third of his history. It is just a fragmented, incredibly frustrating mess for everybody involved. Section 2. Defining data governance, the ultimate fix. So, how do we fix it? We need data governance. And I want to be super clear here. This is not just a bunch of bureaucratic red tape meant to slow your team down. It's a comprehensive framework. It perfectly aligns your rules, roles, processes, and technologies to make absolutely sure your data is a reliable, secure asset. You need to be able to confidently use it for high-level decision-making in your day-to-day operations. The contrast is literally night and day. Without governance, your data is duplicated, chaotic, and highly insecure. Frankly, nobody trusts it. It's kind of like trying to navigate a city where every street sign changes daily. But the second you introduce a governed framework, order is restored. Everyone in the organization knows exactly what the data means, they know who owns it, and they can actually rely on it for accurate analysis. Section 3. Governance versus management. Who does what? Okay, people mix up governance and management all the time. But the separation is actually super clear. Governance is your long-term, policy-driven strategy. It asks the big picture questions like, who owns this data? What are the rules here? And it's handled by your data owners and stewards. On the flip side, data management is the short-term, day-to-day execution. That's your IT engineers and analysts asking, okay, how do we actually collect, clean, and store this data based on those rules? Ultimately, think of governance as the blueprint and management as the actual physical construction of the building. Section 4. The 4 core pillars: process, policy, technology, and people. Let's break down those pillars, starting with process. This dictates the exact step-by-step methods for how data is created, validated, and modified. To finally fix our John Smith nightmare, we'd implement a strict data onboarding process where new records are automatically checked against a golden master list, plus a duplicate resolution process where alerts are actively reviewed and resolved every single day. Next up is policy. These are the mandatory, non-negotiable rules for how data must be handled across the entire company. For our CRM, the policy now demands that every single customer gets assigned one unique customer ID. It strictly defines the exact criteria for what makes a duplicate, like, say, matching emails or phone numbers, and sets super firm data entry standards. The third pillar is technology. This is the engine that actually enforces those policies. And we're not just talking about having a database. We're talking about enabling hard deduplication rules right inside the CRM. It means utilizing master data management, or MDM tools, to automatically match and merge data across different platforms, and spinning up automated dashboards to watch your duplicate percentages in real time. And the final pillar, people. This ensures crystal clear ownership using a ROSI structure, meaning who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. For our CRM issue, the head of marketing is accountable for the overall data quality. The CRM data admin is the one responsible for actually monitoring and merging those duplicates. The IT team is consulted to tweak database scripts, and the end users, like sales and support, are simply informed. The beauty of this is that everyone knows their exact job. Moving to Section 5, Key governance deliverables, the blueprint in action. Let's look at the physical deliverables, starting with the Data Governance Policy Framework. This formally establishes the entire purpose and scope of treating your data as a strategic asset. It explicitly states the core principles, things like ownership, accountability, and security, and maps out the high-level roles. Honestly, think of this document as your company's data constitution. It sets the absolute law of the land, so there is zero ambiguity. Now, to completely eliminate any lingering role confusion, you create a dedicated ROSI matrix. It explicitly documents exactly who is on the hook for every single data activity. Whether you're defining data definitions, monitoring quality, or managing security access, there is no more pointing fingers in meetings. The matrix mathematically dictates the workflow. Have you ever sat in a meeting where a business analyst and a data engineer are fiercely arguing, only to realize they're using the exact same word to mean two completely different things? It happens all the time. This metadata chain fixes that. Business analysts create a business glossary defining terms in plain English, like what an active customer actually is. Then the technical team translates that into a data dictionary, detailing the exact database types. And finally, it all feeds right into a metadata catalog, which is basically a searchable inventory showing exactly where that data lives across the company. All of those definitions build the foundation for visual data lineage. You can literally trace a piece of customer data's journey visually. You watch it originate in the CRM, flow through the cleansing process, land in the data warehouse, and finally surface on the business intelligence dashboards. So if a number looks wildly wrong on the CEO's dashboard, this lineage lets you trace it all the way back to the source to find the exact bottleneck. It is a total game changer. Now, to really enforce your framework, you need highly detailed workflows, like a manual data submission process. This maps out a precise, rigid path for data preparation, auditing, ingestion, and consumption, complete with specific quality control checkpoints. When data interactions are forced through a governed step-by-step path like this, rogue errors simply cannot slip through the cracks. It saves you countless hours of manual cleanup down the line. And then, all your controls and monitoring get visualized in a data quality dashboard. This acts as a pulse check, keeping the operational health of your data perfectly transparent. At a quick glance, anyone can see which files succeeded, which failed, and the overall completeness of the master data. Honestly, there is something incredibly satisfying about watching those red warning lights turn into green check marks once your governance processes finally kick in. Finally, Section 6, Sustaining a Data Culture, the Ultimate Payoff. Here is the incredible real-world result. By strictly applying this governance framework, your duplicate rate plummets from a messy 5% down to less than 1%. The impact: marketing campaigns suddenly become highly efficient. Customer service agents finally have that perfect 360-degree view of the client, and that artificially inflated sales pipeline becomes razor sharp. You have successfully restored total trust in your systems. Knowing how powerful these structured pillars and deliverables are, I want you to think about your own daily challenges. What specific processes are you going to redesign tomorrow to finally conquer the data chaos in your own systems? Start building your pillars today, and the clarity will absolutely follow. Thanks so much for joining us on The Sixplainer.